Welcome to Incognito Islamic Productions.
But just for the sake of time, let's get into with leaders like these. Meaning when we have leaders like these, why do we need enemies? Right? So I published a couple of articles last week and the week before on MuslimGirl. On MuslimGirl website is called MuslimGirl.com. And I've always, had this website on the radar because every now and then I see different people share articles from MuslimGirl. And so the reality is that they have really problematic, un-Islamic, anti-Islamic content. Okay, and if this screen share function worked, I would just show you screenshots, but I can just read them for you. So, for example, they had an article on, did Allah give Muslims a definition for unlawful sex? So this is an article from MuslimGirl about zina and how zina is not really defined in Islam, and we should just be fine with, there's nothing wrong with having premarital sex. That's one of their articles published. Another article, meet the founder of the Transgender Muslim Support Network. Okay, and it's an article where they interview a transgender woman, meaning this is a man who is dressed in hijab and claims to be a woman, claims to be bisexual. This is how the person identifies himself. And this is an interview with him, promoting his transgender Muslim network. Another headline from MuslimGirl, this Ramadan, I didn't shame myself for being queer. This Ramadan, I didn't shame myself for being queer. Because there's nothing shameful about that, apparently, according to MuslimGirl. Another article, practicing Islam in short shorts. Practicing Islam in short shorts, promoting that. Another article, here's what one Muslim girl has to say about casual sex. Another article, why are we hiding our periods during Ramadan? Why gay imams are better for Muslim women. This is one of their articles. So you can see just a lot of garbage, kufr, outright kufr, promoted on this site. Okay, many of the articles on the site actually promote Muslim women removing their hijab, right? Completely removing the hijab. That's one of the popular themes. Makeup in general. They're constantly promoting plastering yourself with makeup. It's because there are certain makeup companies that are invested in MuslimGirl that are actually paying MuslimGirl for advertising. And so they have so many articles promoting makeup to Muslim girls. Okay. They had a scholarship. MuslimGirl was putting out a scholarship for lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, or queer Muslims. They called it the Rainbow Crescent Scholarship. Okay, so this is all the kind of garbage that MuslimGirl is putting out. There's no problem in the sense that there are many outlets that are putting out garbage all the time. There are many blogs, there are many websites, there are many media outlets that are putting out this kind of garbage constantly. The problem is that what happens when certain Muslim figures start promoting this content? What happens when certain Muslim personalities and community leaders start promoting this website and this brand? Then it becomes a problem. Then it becomes a major problem. Because if you're a community figure and people are looking up to you as a leader and you're promoting this website, then you're giving it a stamp of approval. And insofar as they respect you as a religious figure, they're going to start thinking that what is on this site is acceptable in Islam, and they're going to start following it. They're going to start consuming it. They're going to start promoting it and spreading it and so forth. So this is what the article that I wrote on MuslimSkeptic.com is about. Is about MuslimGirl, the kinds of filth that it promotes, and then the Muslim figures who are promoting MuslimGirl. And the one figure that I focus on, because she is, the most blatant about it, is Dalia Mogahed. Dalia Mogahed. So, who is Dalia Mogahed, and why does she matter? That's a good question. She is the director of research at ISPU, the Institute of Social Policy and Understanding. So this is a Muslim institute that puts out different kinds of demographic research. They do different kinds of studies on the makeup of the Muslim community in America. The question of whether their research is reliable or not, I don't know. I haven't looked into that in depth yet. But there are some who have claimed that even their research is questionable and what they publish is questionable. They definitely have a huge left-wing bias in what they're pushing and publishing. And again, left-wing bias, it doesn't matter. What matters is that when that bias is contradicting certain aspects of Islam, that's what we care about. Right? So I focused this article on Dalia Mogahed's connection to MuslimGirl. So if you go on the website, you'll see many examples of where Dalia Mogahed is promoting MuslimGirl and is saying that, wow, MuslimGirl is doing a great service. MuslimGirl is really pushing good ideas. In fact, I'll read you a quote where she said very directly. Dalia Mogahed was interviewed by MuslimGirl. And in that interview, this is what she says. She says, "It's such an honor to be talking to MuslimGirl, especially on Women's Day. I really admire the work that MuslimGirl does and the platform it provides young women to express themselves and have a voice. And I really commend you for everything you guys are doing. I wish I had something like this growing up." So that's really high praise that Dalia Mogahed has for MuslimGirl. And it's not just that statement. There's the entire social media record of her involvement with MuslimGirl. And it's all public. It's all public things that someone can go and see and think that, wow, Dalia Mogahed really likes MuslimGirl. Dalia Mogahed is a respected community leader. She's associated with these organizations that I'm constantly hearing about. She's the executive director of research at ISPU. She's also sitting on the board of numerous Muslim scholarly institutions, right? She's a board member on these institutions that are dedicated to Islamic research. They're dedicated to teaching Islam. She's a board member for them, right? But here she is very publicly promoting MuslimGirl. And what is MuslimGirl promoting? All kinds of wrong stuff. This is what's happening, right? This is what's happening. And it's getting to the extent where now some of these figures are actually promoting things that are clearly contrary to Islam. Or they're associating and affiliating with people that are clearly speaking in contradiction to Islam. So this is a big problem because now it's the iman of the mainstream Muslim community that's at stake. And you have Muslims who will look up to these figures and will see them as role models, as religious role models. And that's how the iman of the entire community can be transformed. And it's not, and the stakes are very high because if this generation were to be corrupted, if this generation of Muslims, for example, in the US were to be corrupted, the problem is that, unfortunately, I don't know why, in other countries, Muslims in other countries look to the American Muslim community for some reason. They look to the American Muslim community and try to see like, oh, what's going on in the West? What's going on in the US? How are Muslims over there acting and behaving, and what kind of views and ideas are they promoting? Okay, unfortunately. So what happens in the US context has implications and ramifications for the rest of the world, for better or worse. And then It's not just this generation. What about our children? What about their children? If this generation has a corrupted understanding of Islam, that will affect the next generation, and that will affect the next generation, and so forth. So these are very, very high stakes. You can't have Muslim figures who are considered to be religious leaders who are going and speaking at these mosques and at these very highly visible venues, also publicly promoting a online blog that is normalizing LGBT, that is promoting zina, promoting gender mixing and taking off the hijab. This is a disaster. It's a major disaster. So this is the motivation for writing about Dalia Mogahed. And alhamdulillah, when I wrote it, most people, even people who normally criticize me, they said this is valuable to know this. Okay, this is valuable information, and they actually thanked me for it. And the thing is that it's not, it's something that everyone can do. It's not something that I only should be doing. You as well. Okay, you consider certain people to be leaders, right? You follow certain institutes. You follow certain organizations. You are paying money. Sometimes you're donating money. You're donating money to an organization. You're buying tickets, whatever. What are their people on their social media saying? The people who are on the board, who are teaching, who are speaking, what are they promoting? And we have to have a kind of scrutiny of this. We have to scrutinize what is being promoted publicly. We don't need to spy on people behind closed doors, and we don't need to call out people in the sense of doing takfir either and saying, "Oh, you're non-Muslim, you're a kafir." No, if you look at the article that I published, I just asked very simple questions. Okay. This is what public accountability means. If you have a public figure, they need to be publicly accountable, right? They need to be accountable for what they are doing publicly. If they claim to be representing the Muslim community, and they do, and they're benefiting from that position that they have, financially and in every other way, then they have to be okay with public scrutiny. And so just go through their feed and go through their profiles. See what they're promoting, who they're promoting. Okay? And, that's all I did was ask questions. Why is Mogahed maintaining these close ties with MuslimGirl? Why is she promoting MuslimGirl to her followers? Is she okay with what MuslimGirl is supporting? Is she okay with what MuslimGirl is putting out there? These are all basic questions. And the thing is that some of the things that MuslimGirl is promoting, Dalia Mogahed's organization, ISPU, is also promoting. The ISPU is also promoting some of these things. And I describe that in the article. I go over that. Okay. ISPU is also promoting this idea that Muslims in America have to support LGBT. Muslims in America have to support transgender bills. Okay, if you look at ISPU's social media and you look at Dalia Mogahed's social media, they have a record of promoting transgender bills. What is a transgender bill? In the US, they're putting out the legislation that's saying that we need to respect the rights of transgender individuals. We have to have accommodations for them. We have to have bathrooms that accommodate the transgendered. We have to allow a transgendered woman to go into a men's restroom and vice versa, into their locker rooms, and so on and so forth. This is what the transgender bills are about. If someone claims to be a man or claims to be a woman, you have to respect their pronouns and to speak to them using their preferred pronouns. So all of this bizarre legislation that maybe if you're not in the West, you haven't even heard of these kinds of ideas, these extreme views. These are the kinds of things that are being promoted by Dalia Mogahed and her organization. So go to ISPU, go to their website, go see who is affiliated with them, and you can ask these questions, right? So it's more than just one individual. It's more than just one organization. I just focused on one in the article, but you have to be able to see broader connections. And so in the future, inshallah, others are working to bring more information and more scrutiny to the community on these kinds of issues and these connections, inshallah. But I'm encouraging you as well to be vigilant, to ask questions, to not just assume that, oh, such and such person has this position, is speaking at this masjid, then therefore they must be legitimate. No, you should do your homework as well. Okay, you should see what they're promoting and what kind of alliances they have. This is a responsibility that we all have. Okay, this is a responsibility that we all have. And if there's something that requires asking a question, you ask a question. You ask the question and you have to demand answers as well. That's what's so audacious. Like some of these people. So this is what happened. I wrote the article, and then Dalia Mogahed herself responded to the article with a Facebook post. And that Facebook post, I mean, it was a train wreck. It's an absolute train wreck. She avoided answering all questions. She even said that, look, if I don't have to justify my association with MuslimGirl. I don't have to justify it. Right? That's what she commented on her post, responding to the article. Like, isn't that audacious? Isn't that brazen? You're affiliating and openly praising MuslimGirl that is also has all this garbage on it, and then you don't even want to be asked or questioned why? You don't even want to be scrutinized for that? That's bizarre. Like, that's corrupt. That's corrupt to think that you're immune from criticism. And that's what she said in her response. She said that Daniel wrote all this. She called me a fasiq, which means, a sinful, evil person. And she called me a bunch of other names, but that's neither here nor there. But one of the things that she said substantively is that, well, Daniel didn't privately consult me before publishing this article. So it's illegitimate that he did that. She says, against Islamic etiquette. It's against Islamic etiquette to criticize someone without privately, having a chat with them. Where is this coming from? I've never heard of such an Islamic etiquette before. Okay? She's a public figure doing public things, writing publicly. She's appeared on, mainstream news as a pundit, as a commentator. She's interviewed. She has articles appearing in mainstream news. She has thousands of social media followers. So no one can criticize her without first privately having a chat with her. I don't know her. I've never talked to her. It's not like I have her phone number on speed dial. I'm just going, oh, hey, what's up, Dalia? I had some questions. No. If you're a public figure and you claim to be representing Muslims and you're benefiting from that position, then you have to be open to accountability. What about transparency? Isn't this a value that people are always promoting? It's a good value. Yeah, you should be transparent. Who are you involved with? Who is funding you? What are your affiliations? What do you stand to benefit from the things that you're promoting? This is what transparency means. It's what transparency means. If you're open and transparent, then you should be open to scrutiny. You should be open to critique and criticism. And then people can decide is the criticism and the scrutiny justified or not. People could say that, oh, Daniel, this is completely illegitimate. How dare you? Like, the points that you're bringing up make no sense. You have bungled it up, and this is all garbage. People can say that. People can criticize me and scrutinize me. People are constantly doing that. People are constantly attacking me. And most of their attacks on on certain places are completely bogus and illegitimate, right? But if someone does criticize me on a legitimate basis, I respond to that. And I like to respond to critique and criticism. That's what it means to be open and to have a discussion with people and try to learn and improve and teach others, learn yourself. But that's not what apparently Dalia Mogahed thinks is appropriate, because I didn't privately message her or talk to her. Then how dare I write this article criticizing her? The other thing is that it's not like her support of MuslimGirl was just a one-time thing. It's not like she just had one post saying, oh, MuslimGirl is great. She has a long history going back years of engaging with them, of appearing on their website, okay, of them promoting her and her promoting them. So it's not just like some one-off. So the question I asked is that, well, if you want private consultation, if that's so important, if that would have made a difference for Dalia Mogahed, the question that comes to my mind is, why haven't others brought this up? Why haven't others in Dalia Mogahed's circle of scholars and du'at that she has? Because, like I said, she's sitting on these different boards, and she is considered a leader and is often on the same panel or at the same conference or the same convention with scholars. Okay, who they can see what she's into, they can see what she's promoting. Otherwise, why would they invite her to sit on the same panel as they are on? Or why would they invite her to be on the same board as a board of trustees or board of scholars or advisory board? Why would they do that without doing a background check on what she's promoting and who she's affiliated with? So were those scholars, did they not do their homework? Were they just not aware? Or were they aware and they advised her and then she ignored their advice? Or were they aware but they stayed silent and they didn't tell her anything? Like, which option? Each option is worse than the other. But no, it's my responsibility, Daniel Haqiqatjou, who has to go and advise Dalia Mogahed privately. Oh, sister, you know that MuslimGirl is kind of pushing some stuff that's really bad? And then she's going to say, oh, subhanAllah, I didn't realize that. Okay, maybe that would happen. Okay, but she doesn't have to answer to me. I'm nobody. I'm just a guy, as I've said before. What she can do, she can answer the questions that I asked, that others are asking her. And that was the good thing about her response on Facebook, that all the comments, 90% of them were against her. Like, you're just avoiding the issue, you're not addressing the questions, you're deflecting the criticism. Just be honest. Tell us, like, why do you have this kind of affiliation? And all she said was, well, I don't have to justify that.